Good evening, and welcome to another edition of WorldWideChels presents Uncle Jesters BBQ. I am the one, the only, the undefeated Uncle Jesters. Always right, never wrong. First place, never second. And I'm here with a few of my friends, starting off with the self-appointed king of Chelsea media, my guy Carlito. How you doing, Carlito?
So here's the thing, man. And again, everybody with Chelsea and Twitter in general, they always get this word wrong. Agenda. What does it mean? An agenda is a to-do list. So what I'm going to do when this summer season is over, when the window is over and everything's rolling, I'm going to make an agenda on all of the fucking things I was right about this window. From the players incoming, the players outgoing, the ethos of the club, the direction, everything. Because my God, I'm going to be batting 900. It is unbelievable. It is as if Boli, Egbali, and Pochettino are listening to me when I say you need to sell this player.
That's going to be a short
needs
story.
to go out on loan. Chalobutt needs to leave. All these guys. It's the summer of Carlito. It's the summer of George. It's the summer of Carlito. It's almost perfect. If we get rid of Lukaku, it will be perfect. Other than that, I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing fairly well. And we're here with our pod brother, always in the pod, Mr. Matt J. Ball. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to hear that one of Carlito's favourite players, Edson Alvarez, is going to the average team, West Ham, because you know what? He's an average player, just like most of the players Carlito rates.
Oh, my gosh.
Boo.
The sauce. And the best-dressed member of our team, Feroz. How you doing, brother?
Appreciate you for having me. It's always good to see you guys and get to just discuss the club you all love, right?
Absolutely. This guy was boots on the ground, man. He's been reporting live. And I have to say, Froze, all your posts, meeting with Willie in particular, that's was my guy for like 10 years. I thought everything that you did over the course of the past couple of weeks has been awesome, man. Congrats.
No, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Moving to a different direction, we got a change-up on the team. It's the one, the only, is Breezy. Breezy, how you doing?
Easy.
Gonna put some cap on the estrogen or the testosterone around here, huh?
I gotta keep you guys in control here. Someone's got to do it. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Dirty. We're dirty boys. But somebody has to do it, right?
You just had to take it there.
I did. I had to go there first. And last but certainly
Hey, don't
not
get it
least,
twisted. She's dirtier than all of us. Get out of here. She's got a dirty mind, and she can keep up with all of us. Don't even start.
So, hailing from America's hat,
Yeah.
our guy Shrinoff. How are you, sir?
Doing better now that I'm in the barbecue.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I like to hear. Barbecue. So what's on tap there, Maestro?
Okay, so first order of business, and again, Feroz, boots on the ground. As soon as this happened, I messaged him immediately. I was like, oh, shit. He's like, oh, shit, right? This is a problem. Nkunku goes down, and before the game even starts, Matt Ball, in his traditional British fashion, is already bitching, already complaining, right? And then I'm like, what is he bitching about? And then I look at the field, and it looks like a checkers board. It looks as though a bunch of patches of grass that are not of the same species were, tabled together, threw a little dirt on it, and said, oh, here's your pitch. Because Ed Sheeran the night before had a bunch of 15-year-old girls swooning at a concert at Soldier Field. And then we have to go and play on it. So I go, Feroz, what's going on with this situation? Apparently, he got a hit. He got smashed in that 1, 2, 3, 4 combination with Jackson, which was beautiful, by the way. And everybody was worried. I talked to Feroz. He said, ice pack. We think he'll be all right. He was walking around after the game. He told one of the fans he'll be okay. It looks as though he's got a contusion. All right. I had one of those amateur finals in Dallas, Texas. We're in the semifinals, playing one of the best teams in the country. I get a knock on a full sprint. I couldn't finish the game. We ended up not winning the Nationals anyway. That shit hurts. That shit hurts for 10 days. So if that's what it is for Rose, is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Obviously, I was discussing this with you a lot. I couldn't make it to the Chicago game, but I got connected with a lot of people that went for that game, so they were updating me constantly as well. And, Nizar, Ben, and all discussed exactly what happened when Pochettino addressed it after the game. But then again, you never know, right? You never know, because Reese, a few months ago, if I'm not mistaken, was it last year where he got injured and he was walking around like, just walking normally. Not normally, he was limping around the city, and everyone asked him personally, like, "Are you doing okay? Is everything good?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I should be fine." And then obviously we heard the worst news, but I think with Nkunku, it's looking more positive. And I think Pochettino even said, if I'm not mistaken, that he like it's one of those situations where maybe a few weeks at worst or a couple of weeks. I think Liverpool looks unlikely, but it could have been a lot worse. And I feel like all of us in this panel right now have PTSD from like what happened to Ruben, and we were really worried, like another preseason game, or not preseason, but a friendly game where a crucial player of ours gets injured, right? But I'm optimistic, really optimistic.
Matt, I thought that all of the games that America host this summer, good production, great crowds, fields looked really great, and on the last day they fucked it up. And I mean, and with a player that's, to say the least, he's the most important player on our team. I would say he's the most important player, outside of maybe the two center backs.
But can I give a reason why as to that's the case? Because all the games, not all the games, the first game, but besides the first game and the last game, the rest of the games were managed by Premier League. The last game, the Premier League had nothing to do with it. It was just like a random friendly with Dortmund. So I feel like in terms of like the Premier League games, they were a lot more strict and you had to play like properly. I feel like if it was the Premier League, they wouldn't have let the game go on because the grass was atrocious. Like if God forbid there was a bad injury, everyone would have like talked about it. But
I mean, look, man, there's Sunday leagues, there's Sunday league pitches, that look a hell of a lot better than that.
Mate, but I mean that pitch again for New England Revolution when Ruben got injured, that pitch last week made the New England pitch look like just a fresh piece of glass. It was dreadful. And you say I'm moaning. I was right to moan. I was,
of course.
I was there. Dreadful. It was absolutely atrocious.
I just don't understand whatsoever how to. This is not like it's the Chelsea Wrexham game where you can understand it's a lesser game, so they might not care about the pitch so much. This is Chelsea Dortmund. These are two Champions League winning teams. These are two European giants. This pitch needs to be perfect. I don't care. It's the sum up. You can sort it out. I don't blame Chelsea because who are Chelsea to know that Ed Sheeran is going to do a concert? I don't even blame Ed Sheeran because it's the stadium itself organising that and not realising that might be a bit of a problem. Like,
so the issue was not about Ed Sheeran. It was like the oversold tickets. The capacity was around 61,000, whereas they sold around 72,000 tickets.
Yeah, but even then, the logic of it, you're going to have people on the pitch, so it's going to be damaged to some extent. So they need to allow time before any sports event is to be played on that pitch. Full stop. So it just shouldn't have been done like that.
And the problem with this whole situation is that if it was the first game, we would have obviously rested our key players. But the fact that it's the last game of preseason, this is the team you want to be like 100% at strength because this is a team that's most likely going to play against Liverpool, right? So it was really weird, this whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, it's not a terrible injury. As I said, contusion, it's not the end of the world. You just have to wait for the pain and swelling to go down.
So was he been officially ruled out?
No,
it hasn't. Nothing's really been said. So
look, no, we're going off Nazar Cancelo, who is on a 30-year bender at this point.
Oh no, Feroz, he's doing it to your guy. Oh no,
you cannot.
Look,
you cannot write an article that says Nkunku's going to be out weeks, not months. But is a major doubt for Liverpool. If he's out weeks, he's out for Liverpool. Yeah, you can't be a major doubt and be out weeks. You're either out of Liverpool. I'm reading that. I'm going.
All right,
that makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
In the words,
a drunk idiot that I grew up with who didn't finish 5th grade.
Okay,
just covering.
Could write a better article than that.
Technically, in the words, not wrong.
In the words of Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction, allow Feroz to retort.
No. I mean, Nazar, I got nothing in love for Nazar because he gave me the first gig at goal.com, so I appreciate him. But I feel like the Nkunku thing, because I wasn't there, so I don't know the update and what exactly is going on in terms of like what happened in Chicago.
Yeah.
But I feel like him and Ben are really close too. So he has been reliable for the past few years. Maybe he had a few blunders here and there, but Nazar, I got love for Nazar. And I really think probably his wording wasn't the greatest. I don't know. I didn't see the article properly, but I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. And these are all Jester's thoughts, not mine.
Those are the Jester's thoughts, people.
Gotta make it clear.
There was reports that said he just came back yesterday, so they haven't even done a full examination on him yet.
Yeah.
So they don't know the extent of the injury, or if there's an extent to the injury, or if it's just a surface level. They still don't know exactly what's wrong. So I think in this way, it's better to be correct than first, in my eyes.
Oh,
right?
Breezy, what are your thoughts on this? And is it devastating that we don't have him for Liverpool, or does it depend on what we do tomorrow and Sunday, if you know what I'm saying, as to the extent of the depth and quality we'll have on the field on Sunday?
I think even if we were to get a deal across the line, Olise is out injured.
Yeah.
So he can't play. And he wouldn't be ready anyway. I mean, he wouldn't know what to do. Yeah, I don't think it's devastating, but I do think it kind of darkens the doorstep a bit over that Liverpool match. I think we've all felt pretty positive this preseason. We looked really good. But when you start to look at the options that we have to fill Nkunku's spot, now we're looking at Chukwuemeka, who's had mostly a good preseason, but was still a mixed bag. Is he ready to play against one of the top sides in the Premier League? I don't know. He looked pretty good against Dortmund from what I saw, but second half was better than first half. He still lost control a bit. Aside from that, who do you put there? I saw someone that you were talking to online earlier suggest Ian Maatsen. You were like, what are you doing? No. I don't know. I think we'll be okay in the long term. I don't think it's a big deal if Nkunku's out for a few weeks. I think we'll have adequate cover and we'll bring in a new transfer. But I don't know. I'm not feeling as positive about Liverpool as I was. We're definitely better with him in the side.
Yeah, and to be fair, respectfully, the subs did change the dynamic of the game, because the first 15 minutes of the second half, we were all over Dortmund's ass. And it was going to be a game of 2 or 3-0. Mudryk was just killing them. Jackson is just such a weird player, because he does dip in like Harry Kane, but he's so much more athletic than Harry Kane that he can do other shit. And even if he takes a bad touch and it seems like the center back is going to win the ball, he still bodies him and gets the ball back. He's just such a special player. He's going to be great for a while. But I felt as though the subs kind of didn't tell the actual story of the scoreline and the narrative of the game itself. But Srinath, to put a bow on this, is this one that we can live without, even though he's certainly one of the best players on the team?
So Nkunku for me is like Eden Hazard. When on the pitch, he has that energy, he has that, that creativity, that dynamism. But when he's not on the pitch, it is a little lackluster. We don't have that right replacement for him when he is injured. And that was pretty evident after he was substituted. I fear honestly, I don't blame Kane. Kane is a very good player, but I feel his lack of experience would be reflected on the pitch when we play Liverpool. That's my take.
To be fair, I'd argue he's coming up against an inexperienced midfield in Liverpool, so that might help him a little bit.
Well, also, again, am I upset that he's not? I'm not going to see Nkunku play if that's the case. Yeah, but Mudryk versus TAA.
I don't think he's going to play TAA there, dude. I don't think so.
Midfield.
Like Jared, if he does,
he's their starting right back.
No,
I say, who do they play
for
right
most
now?
games.
Should we bring in
Who
more?
else they gonna play? Joe Gomez.
Anybody?
Joe Gomez.
Fucking VVD.
Come on, man.
VVD out there.
It don't matter who they put out there. They ain't got nobody fast enough to catch up with him.
They better put Colwell out there. Oh, shit. He didn't sign with Liverpool, did he?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
So where it is upsetting that I won't see Nkunku, because I, of course, wanted to see who I think is probably the best player we signed this summer, finished article wise. I mean, I'm sure there's some kids we signed with talent might have higher ceilings, but for right now, Nkunku is probably the best player we've signed this summer. Mm-hmm. But in this matchup, Mudryk is almost a better matchup than Nkunku against TAA.
Yeah.
As far as speed, I think for me, he's one of the fastest footballers I've ever seen play. I mean, he kicks the ball and you're like, oh, he kicked it too far, it's going out of bounds. And, oh, no. He not only got there, but he put in a damn good cross.
Yeah, it's like unnatural movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if there's one game I'm okay, a top team, I'm okay as long as it's Mudryk there in the left wing. Yeah. Because we don't eat.
I'll tell you this.
Oh, go ahead.
I can't wait for it to be Sterling, and then you get disappointed.
I'll punch somebody.
Froze. You want to put a bow on this one? You think? I mean, for me, Mudryk is a starter regardless.
Yeah,
I would play.
Thing.
Yeah, exactly. I would play Jackson and Nkunku together, 10-9, Mudryk, and then whether it's Madueke, whom I love, maybe he's just not fit. Madueke, Angelo Gabriel, Michael Olise, one of those guys. I think we're fine there.
No, I think we're 100%. I feel like after this preseason, we all are more confident. Mm-hmm. And Mudryk, I would have started all three, right? Mudryk and Jackson and Nkunku. And Nkunku, it's weird because there's no like-for-like replacement, right? He's a really strange second striker / creator, / scorer. So we are going to miss him for sure. But at the same time, our attackers are pretty good, even the young ones that are looks like not going to go on loan anymore.
Yeah, Gabriel.
So the fact that they're confident and stuff, even Mudryk looks so sharp in training as well. Yeah. He just needs to be more clinical, and then we'll definitely, have a player in our hands. So that shouldn't be a problem. I'm not that nervous about.
Were you at training?
I was at the training, yes.
Yeah. Any other thing without betraying confidences? Anything else you want to say about it?
No, I feel like it's weird because he's always taking on players and stuff, and he just finishes almost every single chance in training. But, I guess pressure does get to people when you're playing, in front of everyone and it's an actual game. But I'm really confident on Mudryk doing well. And I really think it'll be interesting to see who gets the nod. Who will we stay with Sterling? Because Sterling, with all due respect, has just been so. I'm not going to say average, just so poor.
Poor.
But it'll be interesting to see who gets that slot. Because I feel like if Nani was fit, he would have definitely started.
Yeah. Well, let's go quickly. Go ahead, Srinath. Then we'll transition. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. Whenever I hear the word Mudryk, I just remember that Reece James with Mudryk, that loft pass with
Neymar style.
Yeah, I mean, do you think we're gonna see that in the Liverpool game? That's what I want to ask the panel.
That pass, yeah.
Not the ball control, control.
No.
This is so weird because before he joined Chelsea, when he was going to Arsenal, what he was known for, he was prominent, and what made him really famous, or should I say on Instagram and all these other places, is his first touch. He was known for his first touch. And then when he came to Chelsea, he got so nervous. And for the past few months, or should I say last season, from January on, he just seems so off the pace, and his first touch was not good. But I guess nerves got to him because his first touch is really, really, really good. Even in training and stuff, he just has that, I'm not going to say Berbatov thing in him, but he just has that mentality where he's like, oh yeah, easy. This is easy. I'll easily trap the ball and I'll have it. And the thing with Reece, that's a whole different discussion I want to have with everyone on the panel, is what the whole situation with Gusto, because Gusto is really, really good too.
Hey, you want to save it till the end? Let's save it till the end, but I'll pencil that one in for sure. Okay, all right. Let me write that down. Gusto Reece at the end. Okay, good. So, all right, let's move on to this next one. Now, again, I'm going to preface this, and I'm going to start with Jared and Matt. I'm going to preface this by saying I don't think goalkeepers are human beings. I think that goalkeepers are second-class citizens. Within the context of the game, of course, relax, people. I'm a humanist. But within the context of the game, their utility, they're not actually part of the overall process. They're just there. They're tools. They're not footballers. If you put a goalkeeper at center mid, it would be tragic extremely quickly. So you could tell I have a little bit of animus towards goalkeepers, and that maybe that comes from personal experience. But the thing is that we still needed one. Kepa, I actually think Kepa's a good player, but I don't think he's good enough. And Sanchez from Brighton, he was demoted because he had a problem with the manager. Same way that, the guy that just signed for Arsenal had a problem with the manager. Okay. This was De Zerbi picking fights with certain people and the certain people giving him the business right back. And that shit sometimes happened. Trossard wasn't having it. Sanchez wasn't having it. Okay, great. Even though I looked at his metrics and I've seen him play, I've played against him. He stopped so many point-blank shots we've got. Conor Gallagher's open net from the 12 last year, he blocked it. He's a good shot stopper. He's a good goalkeeper. So 25 mil is a perfectly adequate fee for a perfectly inconsequential position. Matt Ball.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as you've said about goalkeepers. I do understand they're not as important, and this is coming from someone that trained my brother as a goalkeeper. They can be bitches, so I can understand your beef with goalkeepers. They can be self-absorbent arseholes at times, or that might just be my brother. But
he is Belgian.
But my point would be, I agree with that fact of I didn't want to overpay for a goalkeeper. I didn't want to pay 80 million for Mike Meinegan, who isn't really the finished article as a goalkeeper either. Onana wanted United, so Robert Sanchez, the next best thing. I mean, he's a better shot stopper than Kepa. And actually, he's probably better on the ball than Kepa as well. The whole reason Brighton used to play good football and out from the back was because they had Robert Sanchez under Graham Potter. So I think he'll do all right. I think he'll probably start as second choice, and Kepa will make the mistakes he usually does, and then he'll quickly take over. And there's a thing in 25 million. If he doesn't work out, you can probably sell him for the same price. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, he signed like a 7-year deal too. He just signed a 7-year deal.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. And we have Brighton's his old goalkeeper coach. So
the other thing I want to say, Jared, you and I, everybody in this fucking panel, of course, we all watch this team. It's aerial contests, right? Aerial going up, getting the ball against, obviously other players that can't use their hands, but tall ass center backs like fucking Benoit Badiashile, who's unbelievable, right? This guy wins a lot of aerial duels. Okay, Sanchez has that on Kepa, probably 6 inches of height on Kepa. His reach is bigger. This is something we have definitely struggled with. I mean, even the clearance against Dortmund, I hate to deride Kepa. Sanchez would have grabbed that. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a guy that is considerably more physically imposing. And I have to say, this is such an upgrade from that particular aspect of the keeper skill set, Jared.
Well, it has been a criticism of mine of Chelsea goalkeepers in the past few years. I'll take it all the way back to Tottenham. Remember Tottenham tying the game in the dying moments because our keepers stood on the line, didn't come for the ball. It's a keeper. He wants to minimize mistakes. You want a keeper that has a minimal mistakes because you don't want them causing goals, both playing out and when they're tracking balls and players and stopping shots. But two, they have the opportunity in certain situations to diffuse an attack when there's momentum when it's the last seconds. All you need is the keeper to come out and get the ball. Sanchez is the type to do that. Kepa not so much. He doesn't have the physical stature to do that. Even if he wanted to, he'd be flapping a lot of them. So for me, we had one of the other reasons that they said that Sanchez kind of had an off year is because his goalkeeper coach came to Chelsea. So it made him lose confidence. However, if that's true or not, I don't know. It's just what's been said. But for me, I've watched Sanchez play, and athletically, he's got it.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. It's about what's between his ears. Is it right in the ear? And if he can get it right in there, I do think he'll beat the goalkeeper at the end of the season.
Go ahead, Shanath.
First and foremost, Roberto Sanchez, I'd love to see what the Brighton club's fans say. The Demon clubs are like third choice keeper. I'm like, first and foremost, he played 26 of your matches. That is not third choice. You can term it as second choice, but never a third choice. Second thing is he fell out of terms with Disase. So that again doesn't show me that he's a third choice keeper. And 20 million, we're not paying 50 million for a keeper who has shipped out how many goals? 7 goals, I think. Onana. This is Robert Sanchez, which we are talking about. So I don't see why Brighton fans are crying like crazy for 20 million. As though they call us that they are owning us.
Well, let's be very clear. A lot of that is propagated by one particular account called Brighton Bubble. And once we sign Moises Caicedo, I'm going to bury that motherfucker, Brighton Bubble. I am coming after you. I'm going to write a blog, and I'm going to be mean as shit. Without being hateful, respectfully, I'm going to be ruthless because I can't stand this tiny little provincial club that I can put in my back left pocket. Okay, that's how many fans they have. It's a teeny tiny amount. And yet y'all talk an outrageous amount of shit. All right? Like you're the first thing since sliced bread. My goodness, man. This is football. You're nothing. You had one good season, and I will give you that. Great football. Loved it. And you just lost like 4 players. And you're going to lose your D mid too. So, all right, let's keep it moving, shall we? Bree?
I'm excited. A new keeper is good. We didn't spend 75 million on him.
Yeah, these jabronis wanted to spend 80 million on Mark Magnan. Get the fuck out of here.
And I
these
don't
Andrew, Matt Ball, all these guys. We have to spend on a goalkeeper, KJ. These dickheads.
And I don't know that we
never
won't do that next season. I don't know that we won't do that next season. I think we're bringing in Robert Sanchez as someone who can compete and push Kepa this season because we couldn't sell Kepa. I think we are still in for a number 1 goalkeeper, whether Sanchez steps up or not. We may be in the market for a keeper next season when Kepa has one less year left on his deal.
So, Bree, can I counter that by saying if he plays well, I don't think that will be the case. She's right, by the way.
Yes.
One of the reports out is that the reason that we didn't go for a bigger keeper is because we couldn't sell Kepa. You got to bring in funds, and that's sort of been the modus operandi of Chelsea is that they brought in an outrageous amount of fees. They've cooped in a bunch of fees. They're like, all right, now we can splash the cash on the players we want. One of the players will be someone we'll speak about next. But, yeah, they couldn't sell Kepa, so they're like, yeah, we're not going in for Onana, whom we could have gotten. But
I'm
we're
always
like,
for Carlito.
yeah, I know that. And I respect you for it. But she's right about this. If we had sold Kepa, we would have gone for a different guy. Fair enough. But if Sanchez bangs, we will go with Sanchez.
The only thing that makes me nervous about Sanchez was actually a point that was brought up earlier in a Twitter space by your good friend, Jess Froda.
Love Jess.
She's brilliant. And she brought up a really good point. I think it really depends on the timing of when Sanchez fell out with De Zerbi. Did he fall out with De Zerbi after he was no longer the first choice keeper, or did the falling out happen before that and he was no longer the first choice because of the fallout?
I don't know if we'll ever know that.
The only thing that makes me nervous about that is technically, he's coming in as a second goalkeeper who will definitely push Kepa. I think he's as good as Kepa, at least. But if he's someone who's not willing to compete for his spot, that could be a problem.
Well, I tell you what, one aerial battle that Kepa doesn't win, and people are going to be looking at Poch to say, let's do that finger tornado known as a sub gesture. Let's go. And I think that will happen right quick. All right, so let's talk about this next one. Froze, I want to start with you. Transfer master, reintegrated into the Chelsea glitterati journalism circle. My guy has reinvented himself. He's back in the saddle, better than ever. His haircut looks good again, and he's got the freshest fucking kit on the market because his kit has no sponsor. And in a few years, that kit, woo boy, tell you what, it's going to be worth something. So I want to talk to you about Michael Olise. Now, I am very partial. Matt knows this. Jared knows this. I am very partial to sticky-footed lefty creators, especially ones with great hair. That is my that's my weakness. We're talking about Bernardo Silva. You know, his hair is average.
Yeah.
We're talking about, even Ronaldinho. Bad teeth, great player. We're talking about guys like Paulo Dybala. I love him. Fucking love him. Michael Olise, same thing for me. Bro, I think Michael Olise, great hair, is a very, very solid creator. Very young, 21 years old. Used to play for Chelsea, right? Went to Reading, then went to Crystal Palace. Nice little extension there. And now we have bid £25 million for him. And you have to provide a little bit of context with that. We have also offered, after a contract extension, which is very important, we have offered them Lewis Hall on a year-long loan. So if I put all these things together like a puzzle, I would say this makes sense that it would be Hall, even though they're never going to be actual deals together. I can look at it as a conglomeration deal and say Hall, £25 million for Olise. This does make sense. And it does feel like Crystal Palace, who's a very good business partner of ours, will accept this offer. What do you think of the offer as well as the player?
No, I think that the number is really good. And, when people go like, oh, numbers don't matter as long as the club will pay whatever they need to pay, it does matter because of the pressure and everything alongside it. So I feel like that's an appropriate number. Great player. And he will be perfect at the club. I feel like if Pochettino is really adamant in getting him as well, it'll work out the perfect way. And same with Hall. I mean, with Hall, do you think it's going to be out on loan?
Yeah. Froze, the impetus is that he's going to sign a new contract with Chelsea.
Go out on loan. Yeah, exactly.
So that'll mean, that'll not just mean a longer deal, but better wages. Obviously the confidence of signing a long-term deal means that the club does intend to bring you back, believing you the way that we did with Reece James and Mount, right? So this is actually really good for Hall. He's going to get more money, and he's going to get a long-term security deal.
Of course, no, 100%. I feel like that does make a lot of sense because obviously we are stacked on the left side of the back, especially, with even Maatsen not potentially playing there, most likely, if he does stay. But I think this is a good signing, really exciting signing. Strength in depth is good as well. Maatsen will go out on loan. I don't know. I still do not know about this. Most likely he will, but at the same time, I feel like Pochettino himself doesn't know.
But Froze, this has implications for Maatsen. Having Olise come into Chelsea, it does have a say in what the future of Maatsen holds.
Yeah, I guess.
And Angelo.
Angelo. It's weird because when right before leaving, the last question that we asked Poch was, do you see Maatsen like playing ahead as he has been in preseason, or do you see him playing as left back? And he says left back is his natural position. So it's a really weird situation because ideally I feel like everyone would love, I hate to say this, would love if a certain left back is sold. And I'm not talking about Chilwell. That will help us a lot, but I feel like with all these other players,
it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and I feel like we have a lot of left backs and stuff, so it's sort of complicated. And potential attackers coming in. Then Maatsen most likely will go out on loan. But then again, don't be surprised if he stays because even Pochettino himself is confused.
No, and all fair enough. There have been reports that they would use Olise primarily as an attacking mid, even though he's a right winger as well.
Yeah.
The other report is that Angelo Gabriel has been so substantial that they're going to decline the initial plan of putting him on loan to Strasbourg because Pochettino has seen what everybody on this panel has seen is that maybe Gabriel's not a starter, but he's an extremely interesting player, comes from a very, very highly influential former club in Brazil. And not to mention, we just signed also their striker as well today. So, no, Angelo Gabriel, he won't be a starter, but I think he will have an impact. If he plays 15 games this season, I would consider that a win.
He needs
he's
minutes.
going out on loan.
Who?
He's going out on loan.
Says who?
Says this guy right here. And the reports that are out there that if we do sign Olise or Kudus, then Angelo would go back out on loan because
If you can produce those reports, I will believe you.
There's just not enough game time to go around for the kid.
Right, but isn't it more important for him to train with players that are better than those he would train with at Strasbourg?
Yes, but you also improve game time. So I feel
I hear you, but that's what cup games are for, and I still think he'd be an adequate sub. I don't think that.
But you haven't got many cup games to play.
But where you're going to have Chukwuemeka, it looks like, backing up.
You can't play both Chukwuemeka and Angelo in limited
I'm not
games.
saying Angelo Gabriel is playing ACM. What I'm saying is that Jared is saying Angelo Gabriel would play tag mid. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying Angelo Gabriel would play right wing.
Yeah.
Okay, then you've got three right wingers in Sterling, Mujueke, and Angelo Gabriel.
Yes, because they are both very reliable for injury record. Very fucking reliable.
Bro.
And Sterling would be seen more as a left winger
No.
to compete with Mudryk.
He is playing on the right.
Okay, Jared, so just because you say it, it doesn't make it so.
Okay.
I am interested.
Again, I'll take those apologies when Sterling lines up on the right-hand side.
And Sterling is playing on the right because Madueke.
Jared, did you know this? Did you fucking know this? You fucking knew this. God damn it, this son of a bitch. He got me. He got me.
No, I have not seen this report.
You motherfucker.
Hold on. By decree,
Bros, did you know this?
I
Did
don't
you
know
let
this,
me walk
no.
into this?
I think those
decree-
apologies need to start coming in.
By decree,
Oh,
I
fuck off.
hereby
Sorry.
dethrone
Oh,
Carlito.
say whatever you want, Bree.
Chelsea
This is an
media.
open forum, especially for women.
Jesters, you are the king of Chelsea media.
King hell.
Give me my belt, bitch.
I just got played. Motherfucker. That was a good one, Jared.
That's okay.
I gotta give him my props. I gotta give you your props, Jared. Don't worry. I'm coming for that ass. I'm coming for that
Maybe
Tex
we
ass,
need
but-
more substantial news here as well, but I think I've just been mudded as well. Looks like Dusan Vlahovic has told Juventus he wants to stay.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, he might want to stay, but they don't want him to stay.
So, Jared, before we continue, unlike Johnny Minerals, I am a
Yes.
man of integrity. I'm a man of morals. And when I am wrong, I will fully admit it. Jared A-Star, congratulations. You are not the king of Chelsea media. I am the king of Chelsea media. But you got me dead to rights on that one. By the way, I don't like the news.
I don't like the news.
I don't like the news of this particular instance, but props to you, you fucking asshole.
So is it no longer Carlito summer? It's just
No,
summer now.
It's the summer of Carlito. Let's get it right. The idiom. Let's get it
Whatever.
right. Shanoff, the news of Angelo Gabriel going down alone is devastating to me, but are we okay with this? Because it obviously means Olise, right?
Yes, indeed. And if we get Kudus, I'm good with it. Olise and Kudus. I've been saying this, though it is a pipe stream. Jared, I accept it's a pipe stream, but a guy can have a pipe dream, no matter how small the pipe is.
Well, I'm sorry you're laying small pipe, bro.
Well, my pets are bigger, but I'm talking about the dreams.
You dream of small pipes?
Well,
I told you she's dirtier even than me. I told you she's dirty.
I went to Catholic school. This is just our sense of humor.
I went to Catholic school too. I used to sleep with women like this. She knows, man. They're dirty.
But only sleep with him. He did nothing else. Just slept.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like shoulder to shoulder. We just share the same bed. It was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, there was a visible line down the middle. Can't
I
cross
mean,
that line.
occasionally there was hand holding, but my Lord, we were testing the Holy Spirit's patience. Oh boy. All right, so okay, let's put a bow on this one. Olise, yeah, I mean, obviously this is now, yeah, and Connor from Feroze's guy, Connor Holden, London's First, just put out a little tweet on why he loves Olise. Yeah, this Feroze, this seems to be not only a done deal, but a really good signing. I love this move, man.
Is London's First part of, because his logo looks
It's
more like
Pice.
pie.
It's Pice.
Oh, because that's Pie's name. Okay, I didn't know.
No, London's First is we like 3 people own it. I'm one of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Pies, myself, and someone else from Canada.
And
Okay, I didn't know.
does Connor write for you as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like Connor. He was on Lorenz's stream yesterday with Pice, and
Wow.
he's really good. So shout out to all those guys and Feroze's publication, London's First. Really well researched stuff. Nothing half-assed. Absolutely nothing half-assed. They're fucking serious people, and so that's why I
only
always
like
love
whole
having Feroze on.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, whole ass. It's all
Whole
ass.
ass, not half
You gotta
ass.
have the entire ass, both cheeks, bro. All right, so let's go to this next one. I don't want to belabor this point, but my whole contention was that if we don't sign Moises Caicedo by Saturday, which is tomorrow, for people in America, like me, Jared Bree, and Feroze, and Srinath, you don't count. You live in America's hat. If we don't
we're just
sign
still
Caicedo,
America.
North America. If we don't sign Caicedo by tomorrow, he won't play against Liverpool. Matt, is there any chance?
There's still a chance. There's 3 weeks left. He's not
No,
gonna play
I'm
for
simply
Liverpool.
okay, but no, fair enough. I was simply talking about Liverpool, but no, in terms of the end game, which is just to sign him, right? Yeah, 3 weeks.
Oh, he won't play against Liverpool, no.
Okay, but do you think that? I mean, everybody's fucking frustrated. There was Todd Bowley quoted saying, "Yeah, it's a really hard deal, but we're working on it." It's tough, man, because they're like, there was this report today from Pice. Not Pice wasn't reporting, but Pice retweeted it, that we are submitting 90 million pounds and it's immediately going to get rejected. So if we're in such constant dialogue, Matt, with Brighton, the demon club that it is, worst fucking negotiating club in the world, then why are we even submitting a 90 million pound bid if we know it's going to get rejected? What's the point?
This is one thing. The only thing that does confuse me of Chelsea a little bit. Sometimes you make informal bids,
Sure,
behind the scenes, and you only formally bid when you know it's probably going to be accepted, because clubs don't like to be rebuked multiple times for a player. So unless this is a informal bid and it's just been leaked out, then it confuses me why we're making 5 bids public. I reckon most of these bids probably aren't public bids, and that they're just bids that have gone on behind the scenes and they've been rejected there and then. When people say it's 90 million, it's probably 85 plus 5. I imagine. I think that's the package structure we're trying to do. So maybe I think it probably. I think if we put 90 plus 5, I think Brighton would have to be a right bitch to reject that. I think the problem is Caicedo is not kicking up a fuss, and that is making it a little bit harder for Brighton. But there was some news that they are looking at Fofana. I can't remember which club he comes from. Central midfielder from France.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Monaco, yeah. So that could be them starting to look for someone, which could suggest that a bid is coming closer to what they want.
They were also looking at Timo Coop Miners.
Mm-hmm. So I think they're looking for options. They wouldn't look for options if they knew he was definitely staying. And even De Zerbi's language has changed, softened over the last couple of days, weeks. So I think it will happen. It's just not going to happen when we want it to happen. It is what it is, but unfortunately, you can't get every deal done straight away, especially when you've had the amount of deals we've had, and especially when Brighton are just being arseholes.
So, Jared, before I go to you, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't share this, something that Paul and I came up with when we were a little hammered, a little Netflix and chili, a little flex on that net, a little Netflix and chili. Just one of the many things that we'll be developing with our new merch line. There's one that's going to be a silhouette of Nkunku with his arms wide, chin pushed up. It'll be a black silhouette with a blue balloon of him kissing the balloon, which is him honoring his 2-year-old son who loves balloons. And I fucking love that because I fucking love Christo Nkunku. And so, new line coming out. It'll be much more streamlined and much more interesting. And that is one of the things that we'll be prioritizing. Jared, same thing with regards to Caicedo frustration. We're going to get this deal done, right? I mean, we kind of have to. We put all our eggs in this basket, dude.
Yeah, I don't have any frustration with the Caicedo deal. Do I wish it was done? Yes. Is he a very good player? Yes. But I'm also okay with starting Andre Santos with Enzo Fernandez and buying backups if we have to. Because I think Andre Santos is going to be a superstar. Mm-hmm. I think he's Enzo's passing mixed with Caicedo's defense. He's not a seek and destroy like Caicedo, but the dude can play some defense. So I have no issues whatsoever starting Andre Santos next to Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, well, he just he doesn't foul that much, Santos. He's more subtle about the defense, but he's always there, and he's athletic.
He's like I said. For me, he's going to be a special player.
Yeah.
I've already told people, watch him. This kid's going to be something else because he can pass just as good as Enzo. And
well, the other thing is, Jared. The other thing is, dude, he has the Jorginho tempo setting style of passing, where it's like one, then boom, boom. Like as he's like running to players, he's always looking to just get it right back, just so he can continue to one touch around people, make the people chasing him tired, and making the misdirection a consistent emphasis. Like he does play like Jorginho, but Jorginho just would never in a million years be able to move like him. So I bet Jorginho wishes in his mind that he could move like Andre Santos because their passing is similar. Their movements laterally are similar.
Yeah. So for me, I would love Caicedo to be done because I think that just takes us to the next stage as far as players. Mm-hmm. But I have all confidence that Andre Santos can play in this league from day one and boss it like a king. So, I'm cool with it.
Feroz, when are we going to get this deal done, bro?
I think I told Matt this. Like, I generally thought it would be done like a couple of weeks ago. It's frustrating because obviously he wants to come. He is liking every single post of ours on Instagram.
Fuck me, really?
Every single post that's Chelsea related, he likes it. Like the main account, he always likes it. Like when Chelsea sign a new player, he likes the post. He's been asking for this transfer for the last like month or so. It's the most obvious transfer, like in terms of like us wanting it to happen. And as Boley says, right, like they're working hard on it. And it's so weird because, like with Mason Mount situation, Chelsea wanted 80 million, not 80, 90 million. United want to pay 50. We met in the middle. I feel like Brighton are just so tough to deal with and are so adamant in terms of 100 million or nothing. And I think maybe publicly Chelsea is saying if you just pay up the 100, it'll look weird without bidding like 80, 90. I hope it's the case of like when, not if, because we have all the eggs in this one basket, and I really want him to play for this club because I don't want a situation where like 3 years down the line, we see him playing for like Real or something and him killing it. That would hurt because
he probably would.
even Enzo, right? Like just last week when someone tweeted like Enzo Fernandez is a world-class player. We need to surround him with really good midfielders like Caicedo or something. And he liked that tweet as well. And even Enzo is asking, like, put me with like good quality players for us to succeed. And I just hope it gets done. And that's one weird thing because when he was playing in Brighton in the US as well, I'm like, oh, so maybe the medical can happen in the US and he can just join us for preseason. You know, like that would be
like Sterling style. That
would have been ideal, but it is what it is. I hope it's done really soon because I'm like getting impatient and I've been super optimistic with this transfer, but I'm getting these doubts.
Froze, you gotta call them by their name. All right, so Froze, Enzo Fernandez is not a defensive midfielder.
Yeah,
like call him by his name. Okay, he is a center mid that plays really well with someone that can back him up for all the defensive shit that, number one, he shouldn't be asked to do. He's not physically capable of it. Like, he's aggressive. Like, if he's close to the guy, he will win the ball. He's very good at that. But it's just the chase down. You have to be someone that's super fast to really chase down a counter. And he doesn't want to be responsible for that, as well as facilitating the tempo of our possession, both left to right and vertically. So having someone that helps him out, but's also a really good player, which Caicedo is. He's a good player as well as being a very good destroyer. Like, this just allows Enzo to be more of his natural self, to call him by his own name instead of being someone that, he's been asked to do this role. It's not his role. It's not what he's best at. It's not what he wanted to be professional for. To be a fucking Declan Rice, to be a Claude Makelele, like, no, man, he's not Claude Makelele.
No, we're holding him back because his talent is so up there that, like, in attack he'll help us out like tremendously.
His passing is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And I feel
it's like although he's much more athletic than even this guy Fabregas, it's like asking Fabregas to play D mid.
Exactly.
Are you crazy?
No, exactly. The whole point of Fabregas was we played Matic with Fabregas because that was the perfect pairing.
Because of that.
You don't tell players to do things they can't do.
Yeah, dude, like, you have no idea. If you like, I played D mid. Okay, if I had to play D mid while also playing number 8, number 10 at the same time, by the time I got done with all that running and received the ball, which happens, guys don't see this, but when they receive the ball, sometimes they're tired. They don't want to do anything other than just get rid of it. The creativity is not on their mind. They're like, fuck, I just ran back. Now I'm receiving this ball, and now I also have to be the creator. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Instead of now the D mid runs back, receives the ball, passes it to the creator who didn't have to do that running. Now the creator is fresh to be like, all right, now let me do my job. That's the difference. That's what Enzo will be allowed to do. Even if it is Santos, I'm good with it because Santos will do that. But it has to be Caicedo because I think Santos would benefit from being a sub.
So, Carlito, do you want me to send Iqbali to finish the deal?
Yes.
I mean, I want you to send your biggest and baddest. I'm not talking about Justin Trudeau, brother.
Iqbali is the person. Like, in Enzo deal, he was the one who finished the deal. Like,
yeah.
And Mudryk.
Mudryk.
Who's this guy? Tony Bloom? Is that the person we're having to deal with?
Yes.
Wow. For Bree, this Demon Club, what do you think, man? You think we can get this over the line? Do you think I'm going to be able to make fun of Brighton, Bubble?
Oh God, I really hope so. I think we will get it done, but I don't think people will be happy with the timing of the signing. He definitely, in my eyes, will not be here for Liverpool. I think we'll get him pushed towards the end of the window, to where people are really starting to get nervous. I think we need him, though. That's for sure. We can go with a backup, but how many times has this club lowered their standards because we weren't willing to pay up for an Erling Haaland, or even we got lucky, but Josko Vardiol as well. We got lucky because we had Levi Colwell and waiting in the trenches, but and Badiashile turned out to be really good. But there's been a number of occasions where we have missed out on a first target and replaced them with someone subpar. And a lot of those players, we terminated their contract this year.
Well, one of the players that I thought, Bree, that we were going to have an alternative to is someone that just Matt kept poo-pooing, who is eventually going to be signing with West Ham, and that's Edson Alvarez. That would have been my only ideal alternative because Rodri is not available, and the D-mid for Boca Juniors just signed with Porto, another player. I think his name is Varela.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's really, really good. Very underrated. Sort of that same scouting ilk as the backup to Erling Haaland and Man City, but Boca River rivalry, all that stuff. But yeah, I now that Alvarez is off the table, we need him, Bree. We do need him.
Yep, I think it's similar. I think it's a similar thing as if we had not stepped up and paid for Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo really frees up. He's just he's an integral part of the puzzle. And I think that he kind of completes the puzzle for the first team. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done as far as depth with experience. But in that first team, I think Caicedo is really, really what we need.
So, Bree, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question. What do you feel what Paul and Laurent are landing, these kids like Santos, Caicedo, and others? We haven't heard them until Chelsea started sending agents to sign them. Like these names started popping up only when we were approaching the clubs. But when they arrived, they were ballers. Like Santos, like when he started for Chelsea, we had Barca trying to get him on loan. When we had Caicedo, we had Juventus asking for loan. I mean, these guys are clicking like pieces of puzzle. Like, do you think we are doing better now in the recruiting board? I mean, I wanted a honest opinion on that.
Yeah, I do. I think it's been years since we have tapped into any real scouting. It's really refreshing to see us not only tapping into the South American market, especially in Brazil. I mean, we've seen that we are getting these young talents that Madrid are in for, that Barcelona like, that City like, and we're getting them first. I think that says a lot, not only about our project, but that we are arriving with good offers first, showing that we're serious about you and we want you. That just encourages loyalty from the get-go once you start negotiations. But no, I think we're doing a really good job. I'm really enjoying all the players coming in from France. They are translating to the Premier League extremely well so far. So long may that continue.
So this player we just signed up, striker from Santos, Washington, technically proficient, nice touch, impressive dribbling, likes to drop deep. Rome on the outsides. Nice. Jessica, who is the foremost voice, certainly for this company when it comes to anybody from Brazil. She was high on Angelo Gabriel, extremely, extremely high on Andre Santos. She doesn't fucking miss. Not to mention, she's lovely. She says, most exciting, in my opinion, is the well-rounded nature of his talent and profile. Completely agree. It's hard to point an area of significant weakness in his game. Good height, eye for goal, superb movement and technique. For the fee, does not get more low-risk, high-reward than this. Strong words from someone we all respect. Very interesting.
Facts, and I'm seeing a lot of...
Yeah, Brie, please go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that I have seen a lot of people complaining on the timeline about all these young kids we're signing. But the thing is, if you can sign them for 12, anywhere between like 12 and 20 million is really that sweet spot we've been hitting, and they turn out to be the actual next Neymar or whoever it may be, we've just saved ourselves a lot of money, and we spent a lot of time developing them and showing them again that, hey, we're serious about you. But
yeah, well, one of them is going to be
exciting.
Malo Gusto, which we will speak with about the end with Feroz and you in particular. But Yeah, I mean, guys like Andre Santos, Angelo Gabriel, this new guy Washington. I mean, in 2 years, these guys would be worth $60 million.
No, but like not a lot of people know this. This is 100% true. PSG bid like 40 million for Santos like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, after we had already bought him.
Yeah, after we bought him, and the thing with
So did Barcelona for us.
yeah. But I don't know about. I got like confirmation from someone really close to Igbali, but
No, Barcelona offered a new pair of shoes.
Now, like the thing with Igbali is, he, if I'm not mistaken, he actually, when he bought the club along with obviously Todd, he was surprised as to why Enzo, like, how do Benfica get all these talents? Like, how is it possible for them to get these talents and then within a year they just like go for like 3-4 like times the amount of money? So he really wanted to get into recruitment in terms of like Brazil, the Brazil region. And when he found out the club is barely doing anything in Brazil, he was so surprised. And I think it costs like a lot of money. Like the club have a special thing where they're investing a lot of money to recruit specifically from Brazil. So all these like young talented players, it's hardly surprising. And I feel like it's already paying off, right? With like the bid from PSG and then Angelo Gabriel this preseason, he's just been unreal, you know?
I mean, the amount that they're paying for the infrastructure that comes with scouting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It pales in comparison to the amount that they're saving on these players that they would have otherwise had to pay exponentially more for in 2 years.
Exactly. The ridiculous amount of money like some of these players are going for, it's crazy. And us getting like these players, these raw talented players who look really good, you know. Santos, just like a few months ago, the hype around him has been crazy. Obviously, like Angelo Gabriel, you know how you and I have discussed this in preseason, he just looks so direct, confident. And I feel like with this manager we have, it's the perfect recipe right now.
Well,
okay, then.
that is quite nice.
One thing,
But we need to talk about somebody now you know, I don't know if anybody in here is a mechanic. Anybody a mechanic in here? When cars don't move very well, nothing moves very well on the road without an axle, right? So we signed ourselves an axle, a French axle, Axel Disase from Monaco comes in as a new center back. Of course, with Fofana going down, we had to shore up that position, and this is somebody who has played with Benoit Badiashile, 25 years old, looks the part. So, what's your thoughts on Axel Disase? Anybody?
Yeah, I mean,
thoughts were that first and foremost, Benoit and Axel are partners in Monaco, so it's gonna click from day one. They don't need time to build on the chemistry. And second thing is, I don't see Levy, Colwell, and Silva to be backup for the Liverpool game. So it's gonna be Levy, Colwell, and Silva who's gonna start. But I think Axel is gonna have his own imprint in this season. That's my take on Axel.
yeah, I mean, Carlito has been going on about how it's the summer of Carlito. Well, for this signing, this was a signing that I said before we were linked with him, and Carlito shit on it, by the way. So I don't want to hear Carlito waxing lyrical about Axel Disase now we've signed him. But yeah, this was a player that I said would come in, hopefully, and Chelsea should bring in once when Fofana was injured. And I do like him as a player. I think he really complements the centre-backs we do have. And all I'm going to say is the last player that I predicted before he was even linked to us and signed was Thiago Silva. So if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what does.
Well, if he's half as good as Thiago, then we're gold.
Oh, fingers crossed.
So,
talking about Axel?
Anybody else have any thoughts on
Well, I'm
Axel.
happy. I'm super happy because we had strength and depth. I was telling this to Matt as well. The second Koulibaly left, I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. He was on like high wages and he did not do well with, obviously like, new league and all. But we all were like, it's cool. We have Fofana and all these other players. But then Fofana had this horrific injury and that sort of made all of us nervous because even Levi, his thing wasn't certain that he was staying. But now I feel like strength and depth is key. And we are like really smart in terms of all that, with like injuries and whatnot. It's good, especially like our defense needs that. And I think he's going to be a decent player and healthy competition, right? You need that.
Right, and we don't have to go get another center back next summer
Yep.
because Thiago's leaving, Fofana's coming back. You don't even need to dip your toe
Exactly.
really in the center back market.
No,
And another thing
Go
is
ahead.
that Disase is 25, so he's a good age. He's still young, but he's also a leader. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he wore the captain's armband at Monaco.
And the
I
fun
don't know
fact-
about that, but I'll take your word for it.
And a
Yes.
fun fact, he's never been injured for Monaco either.
Never been.
That
Okay, there's the
Injured.
kiss of death. There's the
And-
kiss.
right.
Why you got to bring it up? Come on,
Matt,
people.
so
Have we
Bree,
not
Bree, I
seen
gotta-
enough movies?
Bree, I gotta
There's a
say this,
flag.
and I mean this rhetorically, but have y'all ever seen this guy play? He's really like you say, progressive player. His passing range is
Matt, you know
really, really something.
It's really good. He's very good on the ball from what I've seen. He is a big physical guy, and I don't know. He's not.
Well,
afraid
I'm
to
sorry.
throw
Did I
himself
miss something,
around.
Matt? Did I miss something?
It's just
Matt
funny how
called
your
you
opinion
before.
changes over the period of a few weeks.
Say again.
Well, a few weeks ago when Fofana got injured, I put a list of defenders that I really wanted. One of the top.
No.
three.
I had to watch him. I had to watch him.
You said you didn't want him because it was rubbish. No, I don't want any defender on this list.
Whoa!
apart from Liverpool.
Oh,
So,
no. Hey, Matt, here's the glorious
come
part about that. Here's the
on.
glorious part
You're
about it. I changed my mind.
No.
I changed my mind.
When I
changed my
did that,
mind.
you blocked me.
Hey, Matt, am I allowed to change my
Oh
mind?
my god.
Oh, no, I'm going to die on this hill. Am I allowed to change my mind? I already admitted earlier today I was wrong when Jared made his point about Angelo Gabriel going on loan. But with this one, man, I've changed my mind. Disase.
live pictures of Carlito right now.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Right here, right
Flip
here.
flop like beach
Look at
sandal?
that flop.
I will. No. I have flip flopped like a motherfucking beach sandal on Axel Disase. 100%. 100%
Like a
I have.
fish out of water.
No.
Flopping around on the beach.
I am no. By the way, Matt. Hey, Matt. Guess what? I'm glad to be wrong, dude. 100% glad to be wrong. Because I think that this player will obviously. Everybody says right center back, left, whatever. I think that he's a starter. I've seen enough.
Well, at this point, Carlito, you've admitted you're wrong twice in this stream already.
Yeah, but it's as opposed to what? Dying on a lie? Well, I'm not
Well,
a
I'm
fucking
just saying, I'm
politician,
just
and
saying.
I'm not Johnny Minerals.
At this rate, you're more wrong than you are right.
Yeah, but I'm right. Literally, here's the thing: is that I've also compiled a dossier of 47 things that I've been right about this summer. So I need to at least make it realistic by balancing it out with maybe 7 or 8 things that I was wrong. Because if I'm right about 47 things and I say that I was only wrong about 2, it makes me look like I'm an anomaly, which all of a sudden, by the way, I am, because I'm more handsome and smarter than all you motherfuckers. But I was wrong about this, and I was wrong about what Jared said earlier with
Can a woman
Angelo
be
Gabriel.
handsome?
What do you want me to
He
say?
is right. He is right. And when God made him, he broke the mold. He just didn't want to make another mistake.
The sun comes out of his ass every morning too.
100%. 100%. I'll piss excellence. No, in all seriousness, Matt Ball was like, hey, I want this player. I was like, fuck that. I don't want this player. And I was wrong. And Matt Ball was right. What do you want me to say?
I did that with Jackson. I had to admit I was wrong, I think, last week.
Oh, I think everybody was
Yeah.
really happy to be wrong about Jackson. Dude, by the way, you know who was right, Matt? Paul. Paul was right about Jackson. Paul was all over Nicholas Jackson, man.
Paul was great.
Paul,
I don't
Paul's
even know
the
who
best
Paul
of us.
is.
Where was
Oh,
Paul
you-
Pogba in all of this?
Paul Bearer.
No, Paul, my best buddy, Paul. You would love him, by the way.
You keep. I think I'm starting to think this guy's imaginary. Because
Matt-
I ain't never met
Matt
the guy.
talked
He
to
never
him,
shows
Matt-
up for a podcast. I think you're talking to your hand. Like,
Matt-
hey, Paul,
Matt talked to
how
him
you
yesterday.
doing? You gonna play with me tonight? Hi,
Matt talked to
Paul.
him.
That's Rosie
That's awesome.
Palm.
Oh, masturbation joke.
To be fair, I did talk to Paul, and I can confirm that Carlito does have one true friend at least.
Yes, one very close friend.
He's got to have at least one. But
Well, everybody knows a crazy person.
Maybe I am.
What if I was like in an insane asylum and he was just my handler? Like that would actually make sense, right? Yeah. But so this means Chalobutt froze. Chalobutt's out, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I feel like he himself knows he's out. It is what it is, right? I would have kept him before, because I still feel like the DNA is important at the club, Carbon Boys and stuff. And I think once Fofana got injured, I was like, okay, we definitely need to keep him. But having too many players, like as you saw last season, is not the best. And I think he'll flourish in Italy or something.
In the other
Yeah.
team
So
itself,
could I also say the other reason that I don't think Chalobutt fits this club is because we're going to play risky football out of the back.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Like
Mhm.
Poch is really one of the integrators of this 7 or 8 years ago, obviously with Guardiola as well, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna play risky shit. We want to press teams out of position, right?
Yeah.
We want to invite that shit because if they overrun it, we have broken one of the lines we have to in order to advance. Like that's just tactics. That's it. All this shit is bait. It's always bait. And so you have Colwell, who is again okay. So here's the third time. Matt, number three admission that I was wrong. Jessica Frota has been on Levi Colwell for 2 fucking years. She's been doing nothing but hammering me with this bullshit about Colwell. And I have to say, for the third time in this stream, I was wrong about Colwell. He's great. There you go.
should we just call it a day for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
I'm not having a
But-
very good day.
The thing is
You got a
that
hat trick, though. You got a hat trick.
I got a hat
Infamous hat
trick.
trick.
I got a hat trick in incompetence. It is true. But I have to say this, Feroz.
Mhm.
Colwell gets the ball. He's not worried about it. In fact, you could tell he's so fucking arrogant that he's inviting it.
Yeah.
He's inviting someone to exert themselves just so he can either take a clever touch or just pass it out of the way. It's a total fuck you move, but I respect it because when you do that, it discourages pressing players, regardless of the instruction that they get from their manager. It discourages pressing players from continuing to do it. And I cannot say that one time in Chalobutt's career he has ever struck that type of laziness in someone that should want to press him. Other players always want to press him because they know that he doesn't really want the ball under pressure. And it's the antithesis when it comes to Levi Colwell, who loves it because he loves to fuck with people. And that's just confidence in the touch, bro. That's confidence in the touch.
His mentality is unreal.
Yeah.
It's so weird because I get it. I get it when people overrate our academy players.
Yeah.
And, I said this about Reese, like from the beginning when he got back on loan. He just had that confidence and arrogance in him that went like, no, I am that good. It doesn't matter if I came from the academy or it doesn't matter if the club's, would spend like 200-300 million on me. I'm that good. I'm going to be the best. And Levi has that in him. And I feel like this arrogance of him, like being linked so heavily with Liverpool and obviously Brighton, I think that's just gonna take him to another level of confidence. And his passes are just so unreal. I get it. It was preseason. And I get it, people overhype players too easy, but he's a really good footballer, and I'm so glad he signed the contract.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Feroz.
His passing is so good, and I feel like
It's so good. Yo,
with
he's
the
got
likes
that.
of Mudryk and Nani
Yo,
making those runs.
Froze. He's got that. He's got that one ball where its initial 20 yards is about 2 feet off the ground,
Yes.
and then it bounces twice, and then it hits the player. And it's
Stop
always
at
a
the
ball that
perfect-
is in a narrow channel.
Yep.
It is so fucking calculated.
Exactly.
Nobody, like, people don't understand how hard that is.
Yeah.
I was a great passer. That is so hard to do.
That
And he's
is
doing it
so
all the
hard.
time.
And the speed as well. It just
It's
drops.
it's not a lazy ball, bro. It's so intention
so
laden. It's boom. It's like bam, motherfucker.
And I know a lot of people are gonna think I'm like overrating this talent he has, but he's that good, you know.
So, for Feroz and Carlito, when when Pochettino had Tottenham, I believe it was Dele Alli, yeah, who was more like the centre mid who moved to the back like a defender. Do you think it would be reverse for Colwell where we could push him to the D mid, like a multiple position?
No. Colwell.
Just asking.
No.
Well, no, the reason being is because I think Colwell has spent his career up to this point making sure that this is his career.
Yeah.
Like this is what he wants. He wants the John Terry thing. Well, by the way, John Terry, right-footed player, played left center back.
Yeah.
But I think his entire goal is, and like his entire life's purpose is to be this position and to be like great at it.
But
So.
Srinath, I think we're going to talk about this like in a bit, but I feel like that one person that you're referring to can actually be Reece.
That is a good bet as well. Yes.
That's something I wanted to ask him, but there was like a crazy storm.
Yeah, but it would totally restrict him. Froze, if he played D mid, it would totally restrict him.
I know, but still, like because the Gusto is that. I don't know. It's just so weird.
We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. I promise. But here's the problem: is that he wouldn't be able to be so swashbuckling, you know. So like a fucking pirate, just bomb up the line and know that someone's going to cover him. D mid, bro.
I know.
Part of the position, and this is something that people said about Andre Santos, which was a compliment, is that Andre Santos is boring. But that's a compliment.
Yep.
Because so is Rodri, who's the best D-mid in the world. So is Busquets, who was for 10 years the best D-mid in the world. These guys are boring until it's time to not be boring. True. It's like Roadhouse. I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice, right? But it's the same thing, dude. These guys, part of their skill is in their ability to be subtle and to be measured and to be, have a little bit of restraint. That's part of the modus operandi of the job description.
No, well said. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. I love that, Reece James doesn't have to abide by those rules. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what makes him great. Of course he could play D-mid for us.
Yeah.
But we're buying other guys that couldn't do his position the way that he could do theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So where does that leave with Conor Gallagher?
Out the door.
Out the door. Out the door. Let's start with you, Bree. No, let's start with you, Bree. You and Srinath. Let's hear it. Conor Gallagher.
I've actually warmed to him a little bit, and I never thought I would say that.
After one game, Bree, are you prisoner of the moment?
Prisoner of the moment? Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you mean. No.
He did have a good game. I know he had a good game.
He had a great game against Dortmund. I think if we don't bring in more players, we will bring in more players, but I mean with experience and quality alongside Caicedo, one season as a substitute, maybe Poch can do something with him. If we get a good offer, though, I'm not going to say no. Open.
What do you got?
I agree to that. Like, if it is a 50 million offer, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to make the same mistake we did for Callum Hudson-Odoi. We went for a 70 million offer to a 4 million offer right now. I don't want that same mistake for Conor Gallagher, but if we are getting like 10, 20 million for Conor, I'd rather keep him than ship him out. I mean, Carlito, I want to hear, just for a quick 10 seconds, I want to hear your thoughts about that shitty deal which we did with Callum Hudson-Odoi for like passing off 70 million just to retain
Well, I
him.
mean, hindsight's 2020, and
Yeah.
although this isn't 1980, where if you have a like a Dominique Wilkins like Achilles, where your career is basically over.
Exactly.
It's not that. You're talking to someone. Okay, sure enough, you asked the right guy. I've torn both my Achilles, so this is my sophomore year, and Paul will attest to this. It wasn't a rupture where the tendon snaps and it goes up your leg, but I tore my right Achilles. I was out for 2 months. This was during the summer as I was preparing for my sophomore year in college. I was the starting right back, best player on the team, right? And then while I was preparing through my rehab, I actually tore my left one. So you're talking to someone that has 2 torn Achilles at the same time. It was fucking wild. And each one took about 8 weeks. A total of 12 weeks was the entire summer, but I was still ready for preseason because I swam, so I was fine. But to actually rupture it is a different thing, which is what happened to Kevin Durant, which is what happened to Cho, where your tendon rolls up your calf. It's terrifying, but you don't really feel it, but you do hear the snap and it sucks. But yet Ruben still came back from it. Now he's playing for AC Milan. He's going to start, right? With Cho, I think it was more along the lines of I don't think he was good enough to begin with. I don't think that the injury is an excuse for his inadequacy, because it's not just about relying on speed. It's about his game hasn't evolved. Because sometimes a player gets injured and then they turn into something else and they can extend their career. With him, he didn't develop any other part of it. He just still wanted to be a speedster. And then he went to Bayer Leverkusen, barely played, sucked. And now he's going to be sold to whomever for peanuts. But should we have taken the deal? I don't know. I didn't rate the player to begin with, so sure. I'm fine with taking that deal. But with Conor Gallagher, it's very simple for me. I think Conor Gallagher, like Cal Hudson-Odoi and like Trevor Chalobutt in particular, I think Conor Gallagher is a bad footballer.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. I think he's a bad footballer. And Wednesday did not disguise anything for me, because I saw Conor Gallagher walking on eggshells the whole game. He did not do anything going forward. And anybody that scouts players and watches for players to actually take chances, Conor Gallagher did not take one chance the entire game. He wanted to make damn sure that he didn't have a bad first touch and that he didn't lose the ball. But in turn, he just looked like someone that's like an average player that was just going through the motions. And the reason he was going through the motions is because he was resisting his urge to be himself, which is to go forward and cause havoc and chaos, which is what his game is. You guys say he played a good game against Dortmund. I'm saying he played an incredibly safe game because he wanted to show Mauricio Pochettino that he couldn't lose the ball. But in turn, he did fucking nothing. Nothing in the game. He made no consequential effort whatsoever to go forward. Did not affect the game at all. The real midfielder that affected the game was Conor Chukwuemeka. Considerably. And so, no, Conor Gallagher, you don't fool me with one game of playing super safe, playing right next to the center backs who are so good on the ball that they really don't even need you. They could play 10 on 11. So, no, get the fuck out of here, Conor. That's a con right there. That's a con job. No, he's a terrible player. Get him the fuck out of here. I see right through it, bro.
Well, let's get the gusto out.
Okay, because Jared wants to go.
But before we go to Gusto, I just want to say, like, I get it. He's not the greatest footballer, but I always have love for him because he had like a lot of heart issues, and the fact that he's known for the fact that he's known for his sprinting and stuff, I gotta give him props for that. But I agree. I think if you got a good offer, we should definitely sell him. You know?
I am not discounting the fact that he's a great ball winner, and I'm not discounting the fact that he tries. What I'm saying is that he's a bad footballer.
I get that. I get that.
If you want a good ball winner, there's one on the street corners every night. That's all I got to say.
Hey, buddy, try hard. Congratulations, you're a professional footballer. That doesn't work for me. Last topic. This is a juicy one that Feroz and Bree really wanted to dig into, and that is this unbelievable little man from France, this ball of not just energy, because that's all Conor Gallagher is. This dude is so smart, so clever, manipulative, lateral movements, outstanding, speed off the charts, ball control, ridiculous, intelligence, spatial awareness, but most of all, he acts like he's a 300-pound bouncer throwing bitches out of the club. I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about male bitches that are acting a fool. All right? Assholes that are acting a fool.
Lizzo.
This motherfucker throws people out of the club. I'm talking about Malo Gusto. Froze. Starter or not, he's still a starter.
Ooh, this is tough. Any other club?
No, I mean, like, as a player, he's a starter. Like,
yeah,
on any team.
100%. Even when we signed him, like, a lot of people were like, oh, you know, like, he's a good young player, but you just never know. And then obviously he had the bad injury, and we all were like, great, another player that is about to do good, and he gets injured. But so far in preseason, he's looked sharp. He's looked like so strong, and he has that arrogance as well. He gets players going, and he's just, you know, he could be a starter for a lot of, I would say, like 95% of the football teams in the world right now.
Bro, I would not even be kidding when I'm saying that if Man City let go of Kyle Walker, Gusto could step right in
100%.
and immediately play for Man City.
100%.
That's not hyperbole. I really mean that.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. And you know why this is good? Because I feel like, with all due respect to Aspie and everyone else, right?
No respect to Aspie from this.
No. Like, come on.
No respect. No.
It was one of those situations where when it wasn't even like Aspie was past it. It was one of those things where I'm like, there's no like for like. If Reece gets injured, we get someone who's really defensive, right? And now I feel like we have strength and depth in like a lot of departments, and especially right back, and it's going to be good, healthy competition. It's weird because he's so good that I had my question ready as well. I was going to ask Poch, like, is he so good that just in case we don't get Caicedo, do you see yourself like playing Reece as like a midfielder or defensive midfielder? Because he did play that. He started off as that role.
Hey,
like
Froze. Can I flip this on you and say, if he's so good, could he play defensive midfield?
Ooh, but
I'm not kidding. By the way, I'm not.
I hear you, but the only reason why I think I brought Reece up into this is because that was Reece's natural position, right? That's how, when Reece James started his career, it was like that sort of position, and then eventually his dad is like, no, son, you got to play on the right side in the back, and that's where you will excel and be the best, and that's what helped him, and that's one reason why I was like, maybe I don't want to upset him because he really likes that position, and he is arguably the best in the world right now at it. But healthy competition is good, and you know what? Maybe Gusto could be the answer over there. Who knows? But he could start for a lot of clubs right now.
No, there's no question about it, Froze.
Mm-hmm.
Like but this is a positive for the scouting department that they really pulled this off.
Yep, 100%. And I feel like the reason why I was like, maybe we should just let things just be as is because, God forbid, there's like another injury to someone who is injury prone. I don't want to take his name and put it out there in the universe. We don't want a situation where we're like, oh, great, like, here we go again. I love that.
Because, look, like you said,
yeah,
sure, Reece James, yeah, of course he can play D mid.
Mm-hmm.
I think so can this guy.
I know. But you know what? I feel like Caicedo will do well there.
No, of course. Bree.
Yeah.
Bree. As Matt, by the way, Matt Ball left. I love Matt Ball. Thank you, Matt Ball, for coming on. One of my favorite people in the entire Chelsea community. Jared loves him too. We do a podcast, WorldWideChels podcast. We try to do it every Sunday. And as much as we talk shit, it's actually really good, Jared. Don't you think? I mean, it's really good. But Bree, let's get your thoughts on this dude that we thought was going to be good, but this is something else.
He's really defied all expectations, I think. He's clearly someone who has a lot of confidence and believes in himself to have the mentality to come in to compete against a player like Reece James. Before his injury, even rivals were trying to question whether or not he was top 3, not just in the league, but in the world. And you have the belief in yourself at 19, 20 years old. I'm speaking about Malo Gusto. In knowing that you can trust your abilities. You know that you are just as good as that guy. And I'll tell you what I saw against Dortmund, he was on the way opposite end, so I could not see who he was coming up against. But there was someone on Dortmund's attack who, I'm sure you guys actually had a better view than I did, actually, but there was someone who was attacking our right-hand side, and Malo Gusto was a couple steps behind him, and the Dortmund player looked like he was trying to muscle him off the ball. He was, running faster than him. And Malo Gusto is such a good defender, and his reading of the game is at such an elite level that even though he knew I can't physically push this guy off the ball without fouling him, and I'm not going to catch him, he cut off the angle to make sure that the player didn't have a place to go. So even though he's got all these wonderful tools in his repertoire, I think his ability to read the game is most important.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it's on a level of a Thiago Silva, but I'm saying that it kind of reminded me of that, because Thiago's no longer the fastest, he's no longer the strongest, but he knows when he should and when he should not step out from that defensive line, when he should push forward, when he should drop back. I don't know. I think we are beyond blessed when it comes to our right back position.
So, continuing with this, in terms of leadership, is it going to be Thiago or is it going to be Reece James? Obviously, whichever one it is, the other will be Vice, and that's fine. But who do you think it's going to be?
I think it will be Reece James.
Me too.
Because of the Dortmund game, having both Thiago and Reece got the armband. I would choose Thiago Silva, but I think we've seen in all of the preseason activities that Thiago and Reece are always together, and Silva is constantly putting an arm around Reece James. Like even with the trophy lift, Reece James looked a little, I would say, bashful. Like not like he was embarrassed to lift the trophy or anything, but like he just hadn't really been there before, doesn't really know what to do in those situations, felt a little uncomfortable. So,
but have you ever considered the other thing is that Tarasenko has been there so often, and he's such a selfless guy. Like he's putting his arms around everybody, and maybe he's just like, Reece James just signed a 6.5-year deal. He'll probably never leave Chelsea, and his mate Mason Mount, that dickhead, fucked off. And Reece James is like, you got to be kidding me. One bad season and you bail? Really, bro? And Reece James is like in love with this club. His father keeps coming out and says, Real Madrid, what are you talking about? All Reece James wants to do is be captain of this team. I think Thiago Silva has enough selflessness and adultness in him to say, yeah, this is the next captain.
And did you notice about... Sorry, Brie, I thought...
Go ahead.
Yeah, did you notice those pictures which were coming up where Thiago Silva was trying to, settle in Angelo Gabriel and Andre Santos and all those Brazilian kids?
Yeah.
Like, that is the kind of mentorship, when you're senior in the team. Like, you don't need to be having a captain's armband to be a leader. You can lead in other ways. And
the other thing is that, dude, Thiago Silva was actually almost not going to stay this season, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to help out because he's kind of obligated to. And this is actually going to be a really good bounce back season. I think Pochettino has a really good personality, and personality matters so much. Like I had a way of connecting with players where they would recognize me as a player, a former player, and because of that, they could feel that I understood them, because I would speak to them like I was a player. And I would say, hey, you got to shift out maybe 5 yards wider, right? When you're trying to, let's say a ball is coming from the left to the right, right? Across the back. And it's going from the left center back to the right center back to the outside back. And my right wing is both too high up the field and too cut inside. And I go to my right wing and I say, look, what is the easiest thing to do? And he goes, it's to receive a ball with time and space. I said, no fucking shit, dickhead. So this is what you should do. You should go back 10 yards and get wide 5 yards, hug that touchline, and create yourself all the opportunities that you want with your time and space. Because I would have done that. And then he listens to me and says, you know what? You're probably right, Ryan. Same thing with Poch, man. He goes to these guys, he talks to them like a player because guess what? Pochettino is a really good player. A really good player. Not Graham Potter, not Jose Mourinho, a fucking real player. Not Thomas Tuchel, a real player. So, no, I mean, you could just tell that they're responding to him. But when it comes to, Reece James, Thiago Silva, either one works, but I think they'll both do it. I think that Reece will be the captain. And then we'll close the final thoughts, but go ahead, Bree, before we go.
Oh, I was just going to say, final question here is actually based off of next season. So once Thiago Silva is gone, Reece James, captain, who would you choose vice captain?
Ben Chilwell, easily.
Me too. And I just wanted to build that off of
It's not even a
what
question.
Srinath was saying, because the exact same thing you can say about Thiago Silva is exactly what Ben Chilwell did. The only player last season that really showed an interest in bringing Mudryk into the fold was Ben Chilwell.
Well, he has a vested interest personally and from a macro perspective of making sure that Mudryk is great because, number one, he plays with Mudryk. And number two, he sees that Mudryk is extremely good, but that Mudryk did not receive the ball into space a lot last season, which is extremely frustrating. I saw this all the time. I kept commenting to Paul and my brother and my dad, like, Mudryk does not receive the ball in space too often. And yet the entire preseason, he kept receiving the ball into space. It was fucking beautiful because you saw how elite he is. So, Jared, what about you?
Forget,
Go ahead.
Carlito, let's not forget, this is the kid who came from a war. We are forgetting that main fact.
Yeah, he wasn't in shape. He wasn't ready. His hometown has been committed an atrocity against. It's an illegal war, and he was fucked up in the head. He wasn't ready, and now he just looks unbelievable. I mean, Jared, go ahead with your final thoughts, but mine's going to be on Mudryk. Go ahead with yours.
Yeah, I just think that I'm ready for the regular season to get kicked off. I'm tired of talking about what ifs or this or that, just to go see it all put together. I think we've recruited very well this summer. We've gotten rid of a lot as much as we've brought in. I think it's commendable for what we've done in 1 year. I mean, Arsenal's taken, 5 or 6 years to rebuild their program. We did it in 1 year. It's very difficult to do. People need to understand that. That's why things went awry, is because we were trying to do transition from old squad to new squad in 1 year. And sometimes you end up with too many people in the squad because you couldn't move some out you thought. We still have some to move out. Let's hope we get them out, make the signings we need, and get ready to play the first day against Liverpool.
You feeling good?
I'm feeling real good.
Me too, man. By the way, I think Andre Santos starts.
For me, he does.
Against Liverpool. Not when Caicedo comes in, but against Liverpool, I think he starts.
Sure.
I'm calling it right now. Feroz, final thoughts, buddy. By the way, thank you again for contributing not just to this stream, but you were amazing during the summer series, man.
No, I appreciate it. Everything you said. I think, by the way, the captain has decided. It's like a respect thing as to how it's gonna be officially done to Reece. Reece is definitely the captain. Thiago obviously would have been the best captain for us had he been a lot younger, but I feel like
bro, if Thiago Silva was 30 years old, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
The best captain, bar JT, of course, but Reece is the captain. Poch, I feel like has just gone this team is being rebuilt now. Might as well solidify it. As you said, Thiago was most likely gonna leave early on, but he decided to stay now. So it's a respect thing. Plus, Thiago, I don't think will start a lot of games. Reece will, unless obviously shit goes south. Hopefully not. But I think Andre Santos will probably start too, and I'm excited. I'm just hoping for a good win, clean sheet, and just no injuries or anything like that, because that's the last thing we need right now.
Feroz, final thoughts. Or sorry, fuck me.
I was
Feroz just gave final thoughts. Hey, give them to me again, bro. No, Srinath, final thoughts.
One thing which I wanted to speak about was the mentality. Last preseason was disaster, and this preseason was attitude. We literally showed attitude, winning mentality. It is we are ballers. We are here to stay. We are here to show that we are the top elite. We are there. And this is something which Pochettino managed to bring in within 4 weeks, which Lampard failed and others failed. and there are ways to succeed. I wouldn't take the bloated squad excuse
Hey,
because I've
Srinath,
seen.
let me interrupt you just for 1 second. I apologize. This is Mr. Perspective. His name is Coachella.
Coachella.
He is a friend of mine, someone that I will be collaborating with in the future with WorldWideChels and his own channel. Very good guy. He's also a dad. He is also an extremely hardworking Chelsea media member. If you have not checked out his channel, he does it at 3 a.m. Pacific time just to coincide with actual UK listeners. This is how dedicated this fucking guy is. I love this guy. He does it every morning without missing one day. I think he missed one day because his wife had like the birth of a child or something. And I think he missed like half a day with that. This is one of the most dedicated people
Respect
that Chelsea has for media members. And on top of that, he's hilarious. I love this dude. So he gives me a big up every time I comment on his channel. But he's never given me a big up like this that I've given to him. This guy rules. I love him, and I can't wait to collaborate with him in the future. Sorry, Srinath, for interrupting you, but
No.
he needed interrupting because Coachella, Chelsea Perspective, 3-8 Pacific time every fucking day, baby. Every day. Let's go.
Big up Coachella. I love his
Yeah,
streams
buddy.
as well. I always try to tune in whenever I see it.
Yeah, he's the
And
best.
like I was
The
telling
best.
you, my final thoughts for this stream is that Pochettino has turned the tables. Like all the clubs have written us off, but in their own peril, and they're gonna see it this season. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I think attitude matters, man. Bree, before I go to myself, go ahead, Bree. Final thoughts, baby.
Just feels good. It feels like we're back. I just saw feels a little early to say that, but I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I just saw a terrible video that will scare me and give me nightmares tonight of Graham Potter on timeline that someone put together of all of the times he said the boys gave everything. And you just compare that to one of the quotes that Maurizio Pochettino came out with after we won the preseason cup. And he said, okay, who cares? Like, what does that mean to me? Like, let's go get ready for the season. Who cares? I love his mentality. Like, I never would have thought that a Spurs manager who didn't win anything would be the one. But this guy, barring Tuchel, is the closest thing we have seen to a Jose Mourinho, where he comes in, he
Jose.
demands respect.
Jess
demands
says
you
it's
work hard.
Jose, by the way. Jess says it's Jose.
Jose.
And
It
so
is
does,
Jose.
So
because
does this guy right here.
Yeah.
We did
But
that too.
Jess says
When
it's Jose.
when it's Portuguese, you pronounce the J, so that's my fault. When it's Spanish, you don't.
Boom.
So Jose Mourinho, you learn something new every day. But yeah, no, I mean I think he's the closest thing that we have as far as someone who can command respect. Clearly, the players are 100% locked in. They love this guy and they believe in his message, and they believe that, as Ben Chilwell said, that he would run through a brick wall for him. He would go to war for him.
Yeah.
And that is so important. We were missing that, and we have now got all these toxic players out, and we've brought in players who every single one of these new signings, including the ones from 6 months ago in January, every single one of them has come and said, I want to be here. I want to wear this kit, represent this badge, this city, and I want to make it work. And we're going to do something big. You just wait.
Bree,
And
let
we're
me tell you a story. So I got a story for you. 2014, August 5th, played the Adidas Cup. I had a team that just recently became a promoted Premier One team. We had lost, I think, in the quarterfinals of the Adidas Cup that year, right? And on that day, we beat a lesser team 3-0. Everybody's celebrating. I gathered around the parents and the players, and I said, I don't give a shit that you won. I care about how you played. You played poorly, and you won poorly. I will not accept this win because you didn't play well. It was a scolding. And I was scolding at the time. Most of the players on the team were millionaires, really rich people, and they're not used to being spoken to this way. That next season, right? Where fast forward a year, 2015, August 5th, my team is ranked 7th in the country, a country of 350 million people. And we won Adidas Cup with 35 goals scored and 3 against. So in 1 year, trust me, I was a great coach. And in 1 year, it's because of that shit. It's because the standards are fucking important. It's because words matter. It's because how you articulate what you want to the people that are getting paid a lot of money, it matters. And in order to break through that barrier, that arrogance barrier, that barrier of I'm a pro player, what you fucking say to me? You better come correct. And I feel like Pochettino just comes correct. It's just so pure in what he says, not only because he was a great player, but because they fucking respect him. He's going to turn this around big time the way that I did with Firebirds RBO1. Look it up. It's on YouTube, baby. As for my final thoughts, Misha Mudryk, that's it. I think he's going to electrify people. I think he's going to explode. I think that is the player to watch this season is Misha Mudryk. As for everything else, this has been WorldWideChels. Feroz, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. Matt Ball, thank you so much.
Wait, so we're not going to talk about Mbappe?
Fuck off, Feroz. No, thank you to Feroz.
No. Before we end the stream, I just want to say, obviously, like 99% it's not going to happen, but everyone over there, like Chilwell and stuff, were like, they all were joking about it. Even like during the trophy presentation, I don't know if you guys saw the clip where right before
Feroz, I'm not paying $100 million for a
right before we lifted the preseason trophy, he's like, oh wow, we did this before Mbappe came in. Like he said this like it's on mic.
So let me ask you a question. How much would you pay for a 1 year loan? Because it's only staying 1 year, which is fine.
Yep.
As long as everybody's on the same page.
I'd take anything for 1 year, having the best player in the world. It'd be fun. But
the best player in the world. You think he's the best player in the world?
Arguably, he's.
You think he's better than Rodri? You think he's better than Rodri? Really? Really? You think he's better than Rodri? I don't know about that one, bro. For 1 year. Okay, no. Okay, before we leave, because people are still listening. For 1 year, okay. Everybody knows. We're like, hey, Mbappe, bro, it's all good. I'll buy your jersey for 1 year. How much? How much, Feroz?
It's gonna be.
Like I'm saying like 30 million. I'd be cool with 30 million.
Yeah, I think it's a realistic thing. I don't think it'll happen, but I think it is a realistic thing for 1 year. I really think it's a realistic thing, but I don't see it happening. Like 99%.
You didn't answer my question. How much for 1 year?
30 million, 35 million?
Yeah. I would do that.
Yeah. Wait, just
we did that with Lukaku. What are you talking about? 1 year loan.
I mean, a 1 year loan, yeah. But in what world would PSG ever agree to that?
No, because they don't want to pay the loyalty bonus to Mbappe, right?
Oh,
yeah. If he stays, they have to pay him 90 million.
I did not incorporate that.
Yeah. There was like a whole discussion going on, and all.
So that's why they want him on loan. Okay, yeah. 1 year.
And they want him to go to a club that's not playing in Europe.
By the way, how about this? How about we give them
Lukaku?
No, we give him Chalobutt and Conor Gallagher.
No, Lukaku.
And Ziyech. By the way, and Ziyech.
Oh yeah.
You can have Ziyech.
They love Ziyech down there.
It ain't gonna happen anyway.
It's not gonna happen. But it's funny how.
By the way, Feroz,
if
you want my honest opinion,
yeah,
I would rather have Mudryk. I'm not even kidding.
I would say I wouldn't do it.
The reason being is because I trust Mudryk, and I know that he fucking cares.
I know,
like,
but
dude, Mbappe, you gotta be honest about yourself with this guy.
I know.
There is nothing he cares about other than himself, bro. Like,
I know,
really.
but dude, you're talking about killing him, like this process.
Froze.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But would you rather have? Let me ask you this question because this is important. Kevin Durant went to Phoenix last year, right?
Oh yeah, I saw KD as well. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I saw you, but they went with a guy who's unassuming and yet still the best player in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Jokic. Why did the Denver Nuggets win the NBA Finals?
Yeah,
because Jokic is so selfless, and because
smart,
he's so smart, he's such a creator, right?
Yeah,
but he also doesn't give a fuck about the prestige. He cares about his team. Like, I don't see that with Mbappe at all.
But just to play devil's advocate, it's something like it's not like he's coming for long. He's coming for like he knows like
I
1 year.
don't want this to disrupt the good
Fair
feelings that we
enough.
have.
No, fair. Great points. But I'm just saying.
That's where I'm
just saying,
at.
let's
No,
wrap it up.
Jared wants to wrap it up.
Let's
Froze,
wrap it up.
Hey,
You know
don't
what?
make me break out Porky Pig.
look. My only counter is that I think that Mudryk is better for us. It's
No,
what I
okay,
think.
I can see that.
No, the reason is because I think, by the way, he's faster than Mbappe.
Yeah,
And-
Fofana said that. Fofana said that as well. Yeah.
He's fastest player in the world, and we're gonna end it there because Jared's gonna lose his mind, and I'm about to lose my charger. So, okay, thanks guys. Bye.
Thank you.